so this is going to be our second example of using the quadratic formula to solve a quadratic equation. So we have the problem negative 3x squared plus 10x minus 2 equals 0. And we want to try and use our quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a to solve this problem. So we're going to have to go through first and identify a, b, and c so that we can plug those numbers into our formula. So based on what we know is the standard form of a quadratic equation, a is the coefficient with x squared. So a in this case is negative 3. And notice that we include the negative with a, so it's the sign and the number. B is our number in front of x. So in this example, b is going to be positive 10. And finally, c is our constant, or the number that does not have a variable with it. So in this problem, that's going to be negative 2. So now that we know a, b, and c, we can go through and plug these in to the quadratic formula. So x equals negative b, so negative 10, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 10 squared, minus 4 times a, which is negative 3, times c, which is negative 2, all over 2 times a, which is negative 3. And then just like the last example, we're going to go through and simplify this equation. So starting with negative 10, we can't do anything to simplify that. So we'll leave it as is, plus or minus the square root of, and then inside our square root we have 10 squared, which is 100, minus 4 times negative 3 times negative 2. So if we break this down, negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. Positive 12 times negative 2 is negative 24. So 100 minus 24 over 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. And then we're going to go through now and simplify again. So we still can't do anything with negative 10. So negative 10 plus or minus the square root of. And then 100 minus 24 is going to give us 76. So we can simplify what's in our square root. And then it's still all over negative 6. All right, now at this point, when we go to look at our square root of 76, 76 is not a perfect square, so we can't just take the square root of it and get a number. We do want to simplify our square root though. So this is where we use our factor tree. So somewhere over to the side, we're going to do the factor tree with 76. So two numbers that multiply to equal 76 are 2 and 38. 2 is a prime number, so we stop with the 2. But 38 we can still break apart. So two numbers that multiply to equal 38 are going to be 2 and 19. And then 2 and 19 are both prime. Now, since we're trying to take the square root of 76, when we look at these factors, we're looking for 2 of a kind. So for our prime factors, we had 2 2's, so we'll circle those. And when we come over here to simplify our square root, we leave the negative 10 plus or minus because we're just simplifying this square root of 76. And since we made a group of 2's, we're going to write that 2 out in front of our square root. So plus or minus 2 times the square root of, and then inside our square root, we were not able to make a group with this 19, so we'll have a 19 in the square root, all over negative 6. And if you want to, you could simplify this by taking out a common factor, since negative 10, 2 squared root of 19, and negative 6 are also all divisible by 2, but I'm not going to make you do that, so once you get to this point, you're good to go.